Last season, Wigan started horrendously, finished brilliantly. Can they keep it up, or are we going to look at another repeat motion on last season?
Well, Wigan's problem at this time of year is a well-trodden one, unfortunately, and Roberto Martinez is very vocal in his dislike for the fact that the transfer window overlaps with the beginning of the season, and I think he's completely right about that. It does seem to be nonsensical at times. How do you plan for this kind of thing, particularly when you have a key player whose situation is vague at best? And that's been Wigan's problem too often, and has also been the problem this summer. The Victor Moses situation is extremely unhelpful. They have a player who, according to Dave Whelan, is as good as Lionel Messi. Mind you, Dave Whelan says a lot of things, but it's obvious that when they have one of their key players whose future is very much up in the air, it makes it very difficult to plan, particularly when you're not one of the strongest clubs in the market, and you've got to be very creative when you're recruiting players, which Wigan have done extremely well over these last few years. But it won't be easy for them to replace a player of that kind of impact for them. I mean, he made a massive difference to them in their now seemingly annual escape at the end of the season.
I mean, there is still a reasonable amount of quality through that squad, though. I mean, do you think they should be worried about relegation, or do you think actually it's a squad that should be able to not have that bad start and find itself in that position?
Well, the bad start was particularly bad last year, and in fact, in many ways, it was so bad. You know, it's only the fantastic relationship that the chairman and indeed the club as a whole have with Martinez that, you know, it wasn't really a massive question that his position might be under pressure. Where, you know, when they lost, I think, something like 9 games in their opening run, then got it together a little bit, then had another terrible losing streak over January. And yet they trusted the man to see them through, which Martinez did again in fine style. And they had a terrific run again at the end of the season with some more big scalps. It wasn't that long ago that you looked at Wigan and there was a team who famously could not for the life of them manage to beat one of the big four, and now they've beaten more or less everybody in that. I think in that situation, so they've got reason to feel confidence in themselves. But I think they'll look around, and like a lot of teams, it's really a case of first and foremost, if you're wanting to make sure you're safe, you're saying, "Are there 3 teams that are worse than us?" And I think maybe Wigan will feel that you know, confident enough in themselves that, because they know what they're doing now, that they'd hope that there are 3 teams worse than them. In fact, I reckon they've reason to perhaps, if they can pull themselves together a bit earlier this time, aim for more of a mid-table, comfortable situation.